Hello, and welcome to Whisper English, the channel that helps you go from a silent learner to a confident speaker. I'm here to walk beside you, every gentle step of the way. Today, let's talk about something quiet, but deeply powerful: the quiet strength of small actions. Have you ever felt like your dreams are too big and your steps too small? Like everyone else is making giant leaps, while you're just trying to move forward 1 inch at a time? Maybe you've told yourself, it's not enough, I should be doing more, I need to change everything. But here's the truth: you don't need to move mountains to grow. Sometimes, all it takes is showing up, just once, just today. You drink a glass of water instead of skipping breakfast. You speak one sentence in English, even if your voice shakes. You say one kind word to yourself in the mirror. You take one deep breath before reacting. These might seem like tiny actions, but they carry weight. In a world that praises hustle and speed, we often forget how real change begins. Quietly, gently, slowly. We think success is one big, loud moment, but more often it's a quiet collection of small, repeated choices. A whisper of courage, a breath of intention, a tiny step that says, I'm trying. And that's what today's journey is all about. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you already are, one small action at a time. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or not enough, this space is for you. You are growing, even when it's hard to see. You are changing, even if no one else notices. You are moving, even when it feels like standing still. Let's slow down together. Let's celebrate the small steps. Let's remember, from tiny seeds, great trees grow. Let's begin. For the longest time, I believed that if I wanted to change my life, it had to happen all at once. I thought transformation needed to be bold, fast, dramatic, like turning a page and becoming someone completely new overnight. But every time I tried to force those big changes, I ended up feeling overwhelmed. It was exhausting, carrying the pressure to do everything perfectly. And when things didn't shift the way I expected, I blamed myself. I thought I wasn't trying hard enough, that maybe something was wrong with me. Then something changed. Slowly, I began to notice that real, lasting change doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from small, consistent steps, one gentle decision at a time. I started by taking short morning walks, just 5 minutes to breathe and notice the sky. I allowed myself to say no when I was tired, instead of pushing through. I wrote one sentence in my journal each night. Just one. These things seemed too simple to matter, but something inside me began to shift. I felt more grounded, more connected to myself, and for the first time, I began to trust that I didn't need to rush. Small steps are powerful. They don't scare us. They're gentle enough to return to, even on hard days. And because they don't demand perfection, we're more likely to keep going. That's where true transformation happens, in the quiet, unseen moments. In the willingness to show up, just a little at a time. These small acts build resilience. They create momentum. They help us feel capable, not because we've done something huge, but because we stayed consistent. The secret is this: change doesn't have to be loud to be real. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need one small kind step, and then another, and then another. Slowly, gently, patiently, your life begins to change. Have you ever made a small choice that changed the way you felt, even just a little? Something as simple as drinking a glass of water before reaching for coffee, or putting your phone down and looking out the window for a moment. These choices may seem tiny, so small that they feel almost meaningless, but they matter more than we think. Why? Because every small choice carries a quiet message. I'm here. I'm paying attention. I matter. One morning, instead of checking my phone the second I woke up, I chose to sit in silence for just 2 minutes. No distractions, no to-do lists, just me and the morning light. In those 2 quiet minutes, I heard the birds outside my window. I felt the warmth of sunlight on my skin, and I realized how tired I had been, without even noticing it. That tiny act of doing nothing wasn't really nothing. It was a doorway, a pause, a moment that brought me back to myself. That's the power of a simple choice. It reminds us that we are not stuck. We are not powerless. We can shape the direction of our day, of our life, even in gentle, quiet ways. Each time we pause, breathe, and choose with care, we interrupt the rush. We rewrite old patterns. We remind ourselves that growth doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And all it takes is one small, intentional step. Sometimes the world feels too big, too loud, too fast. On those days, even getting out of bed can feel like a mountain. The pressure to be productive, positive, perfect, it can weigh you down. But here's something I've learned. When life feels heavy, you don't have to carry it all. You just need to take one small step. Maybe that step is brushing your hair, drinking a glass of water, opening a window, letting sunlight touch your face. These may seem like nothing, but they are everything. They are proof that you're still here, still trying, still choosing life in the smallest way. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to be okay all at once. Just begin with one tiny action. Let that be enough. And tomorrow, take another. The weight begins to lift when you stop demanding so much from yourself and start honoring the little things that keep you going. We often imagine strength as something bold and powerful, something loud, fierce, and impossible to ignore. We picture warriors, leaders, and people who never bend under pressure. But there is another kind of strength, the quieter kind that doesn't shout or demand attention. It's the strength that lives in the quiet moments. It rises not with force, but with gentle determination. This kind of strength is found in the people who wake up and face the day, even when their hearts feel heavy. It's in those who keep showing up with kindness, with patience, with love, especially when it's hard. You can see this strength in someone who chooses compassion over anger, in someone who listens deeply, even when they're exhausted, in someone who forgives, not because it's easy, but because they believe in healing. This strength doesn't try to prove anything. It doesn't need to be seen. It simply exists in small, intentional choices, like taking a deep breath instead of reacting, like pausing to care for yourself when the world feels too heavy, like beginning again after a setback. These may seem like small things, but they're not. They are powerful. True strength isn't always visible. It doesn't always win praise, but it is steady. It is real. It holds you when life feels uncertain. It gives you the ability to keep going, to keep loving, to keep hoping even when nothing outside of you is changing. Each gentle act you make, each time you choose to keep going when it would be easier to give up, you are building a quiet kind of resilience. You are weaving something strong and beautiful from threads most people never notice. This is the kind of strength that endures. Not because it never breaks, but because it always returns with softness, with grace, and with a quiet whisper that says, I'm still here, I'm still trying, and that is more than enough. It's okay to move slowly. In fact, sometimes that's exactly what you need. We live in a world that often celebrates speed, quick results, instant success, fast answers. But deep, lasting growth doesn't always move fast. It moves quietly, gently, like roots growing beneath the surface. You may not see it right away, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. It's okay if your progress is soft and invisible to others. It's okay if your steps are small. Growth doesn't always look like achievement. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed when you don't feel like it. Sometimes it looks like resting without guilt, like forgiving yourself, like starting over again and again. Keep going, even if all you can do today is take one tiny step forward. Keep going, even if no one claps for you, even if no one notices how hard you're trying. Your journey is not a race. There is no fixed timeline. You are not behind. You are not late. You are growing at your own pace, and that is enough. Each small action you take, each quiet effort you make, adds up to something meaningful. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, something is shifting inside you. You are learning how to stay present through discomfort. You are learning how to breathe through the noise. You are learning how to keep your heart open, even when it hurts. So keep going, gently, slowly, with kindness, with courage, with trust in the process. You don't have to rush. You just have to keep moving forward, one soft, brave step at a time. In the quiet moments at the end of a long day, we often find ourselves wondering, did I do enough? Was I enough? But maybe the real question is not how much we accomplished, but how gently we showed up. Life isn't a race to be won. It's a rhythm to be felt, a steady dance of learning, pausing, trying, and beginning again. It's easy to get lost in the noise of expectations, in the pressure to always be more, to do more, to fix everything at once. But when we slow down, when we simply pay attention, we begin to see the beauty in the little things, the silent victories, the calm in the chaos, the single breath we took instead of reacting. These aren't small, they are powerful. They are signs of real, living growth. You don't need grand gestures to live a meaningful life. You only need presence. You only need the courage to be kind when it's hard, the strength to rest when you're tired, and the patience to keep going, even when the path ahead is unclear. These little things, these quiet choices build a life filled with intention, grace, and gentle strength. They shape who you are becoming, not all at once, but softly, steadily. So if today felt like a struggle, be proud that you made it through. If your efforts went unseen, trust that they still mattered. And if you feel like you're falling behind, remember, there is no fixed timeline. Growth is not always visible, and healing is not always loud. What matters is this: you are still here, still trying, still listening to that soft voice inside that whispers, keep going. As you move forward, carry this truth with you: you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Every small choice you make, every pause, every breath, every act of quiet courage counts. You are doing more than you think, and slowly, gently, You are becoming everything you were meant to be. Keep going. The journey is yours, and it is enough.